Hello and welcome to another video from this is 4 megabits per second upload, or whatever. I don't really understand it, but it's called 4 megabytes per second. So I'm shooting more footage, test footage with my new camera, and this is once again going to be one where I'm actually like making a video, but it's not a scripted video. And in fact, something you need to know is if you really like these things I'm doing, these test footage things, I don't know, I'll probably keep them. I was talking to a friend the other night, and I said I was going to delete them all. And in fact, I'm going to go through my channel and delete a whole bunch of stuff, because I've got videos up there that's like start out with me in short hair talking about the Nephilim. Then a little later, you got another video with a little bit longer hair talking about the Nephilim. And the reality is, if you go back and look, they're all the same, except that there's a little bit more detail in each one. And I've just written a script about the Nephilim that's going to be probably the end all of the whole thing, because it's got everything you need to know. Actually, I identify who the Nephilim are, and you know, I don't leave any doubts. And so probably the other Nephilim videos don't need to be up, but I think I've already taken them down anyway. Okay. Oh, another thing is, one of the videos I just posted, I said I was going to post 2 versions of it because I was going to do one with editing, so I could add audio from my audio recorder. I got in there, there was nothing. It was just dead silence. And so I tested my machine, it worked fine. I plugged the mic in, it didn't work at all. So I went out and got the manual. You know, it's been 2 years since I bought the first one of these I had, and there's a button. You got to go inside and change the settings so that it'll record off the microphone, because you have to turn microphone power off. So I guess I did that 2 years ago, and I just never turned it back off. So anyways, we've got the microphone going, got the camera going. I will produce this in an edited version and upload it, and I'll also upload the raw footage, so you can take a look at both on this video and get back with me if you see anything that makes you believe that it's not working, because I do have another editing program that I'm about to purchase, but obviously if this one's doing everything I need to do, I won't be purchasing anything. Okay, so one of the reasons I want to get rid of these videos that are unscripted is because no matter how smart you might be, which I think I'm pretty smart, I never really like the stuff that I just do on the fly. You know, I'm sitting out here with no script. I get in, I look at it, and I don't like it. And I know there's other people that say they do like it because it's more natural, but it's like that one I just did. What was it called? About marriage. Yeah, the origin of marriage. I got to take that down because it just looks stupid. And I repeat myself, and I don't even remember what I repeated, but it was a long thing about the origin of the word Aish and Aisha Shah. Is originally Abraham was Aish and Aisha Shah, I think. And then like a minute later I said the origin of the words Aish and Aisha Shah is Abraham and Sarah. So I said the same thing twice, which is dumb. But then even in there I started stumbling around when I'm talking about the Antichrist, because there's a Bible, a prophecy in the Bible that says that associates the end times with people no longer getting married and people no longer eating meat. And it says that people will no longer get married, a thing which God has approved, and will no longer eat meat, a thing which, you know, meats which God has approved. And I think I said in there that if we stop eating meat and stop getting married, or if I tell you to stop eating meat and stop getting married, that I would be doing the work of the Antichrist. That's not true at all, really. I mean, obviously, given the opportunity to go back in time, I would not get married again. And if I was really, really well off financially, I would be a vegetarian. You know, so I'm in a situation where I can't do those things, and I certainly am not going to tell somebody to do them. But they are associated with the ascension of the Antichrist. Now, I've made videos before about the Antichrist. There's nobody in the Bible called the Antichrist, but the word Antichrist is used in the Bible to describe people who are against Christ. And I think it's appropriate that if we were to say the Antichrist, everybody would understand that's Satan. That's the person who has been against Christ from the very beginning, returning to the earth in the flesh somehow. And I've said before, maybe Satan will possess some world leader, Or it's possible that Satan has already been born in the flesh and he's just growing up waiting to figure out who he is or preparing to make his move, whatever. But, you know, here's the thing about prophecies about the last days, and I always have trouble with this, and I'm sure that as soon as I say this, that somebody's going to leave a comment about how I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do, and I've made videos supporting what I say with scriptures. I don't know where they are right now, but if you go back and watch every video I've ever made, you'll find it. And make sure to click on all the ads. Well, see, that's something I shouldn't have said, so I got to delete this now. But I'll post this for a little while, and then probably put it in a file called archive. That's what we agreed on, me and my friend, and he said that sounded good. I may even just mark it so that it's like not just archive, but the playlist will be something like videos where I really didn't know what I was talking about or something like that. Anyways, when Jesus was alive, his apostles came to him and said, "Tell us, Lord, when will you return? When will be your return and the presence and the day of the Son of Man and the end times," or whatever. It's Matthew chapter 24, I believe. And so every church in the world quotes these verses that I'm about to tell you. There shall be earthquakes in one place after another, and famine and pestilence and warfare in one place after another. And so that's what people believe. They believe that as we get closer and closer to the end, the world will go get so bad that we won't be able to stand it. Well, that really doesn't make any sense, because then later on, I think it's 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, one of them said, whenever it is that people are crying out peace and security, that's when sudden destruction will be instantly upon them. So there's going to come a day when everybody's like, this finally worked. All of the voting, all of the warfare, we have created God's kingdom on earth. And there are people that believe that. They believe that the United States of America is the final empire that will finally bring truth and peace and justice earthwide with nuclear fast attack drones. But what Jesus really said, because people only quote part of his scriptures, or they quote it in a way to mislead you. Jesus said, after being asked what would be a sign of the end days, he said, just know this. There's going to be a whole lot of false prophets, a whole lot of false Christ. And those false prophets and false Christ are going to be telling you that there will be earthquakes, wars, rumors of war, famine, pestilence, all those things. So what Jesus is saying is that not only are the last days not going to be marked by all of these catastrophes, but that false prophets will be talking about these catastrophes. So if you're in a church and they're quoting that verse and leading you to believe that something bad is about to happen, you're listening to a false prophet. Now, getting back to what I said earlier about, you know, in the last days people will stop eating meat and stop getting married. It won't be anything that I tell you to do or anybody tells you to do. And it's not going to be the Antichrist ordering it or putting an end to marriage or making everybody become vegans. It's going to be something that instinctively happens to everybody, because if you go back and look at a lot of the scriptures that are presented as scriptures about heaven, they say things like, the wolf shall reside with the lamb, and the lion shall lie down with the lamb, and people will live longer. You know, anyone who doesn't live 100 years will be considered wicked. And there's a whole lot of verses about the appearance of the Antichrist, associating him with a final victory of civilization to get it right. And so as the sun and the moon and the earth are going back into conjunction, and the Antichrist makes his appearance known, things are going to be good. And one of the things that's going to be good is that people instinctively start figuring out that marriage is wicked and that eating our fellow beings is wicked. Hey, you know what? Since this is a disposable video, we'll let the train come through while I'm talking. Train's this way, I'll show you. Yep. I know you don't see it, but you gotta believe me, it's there. It's about a quarter of a mile through them woods. Okay. Back to me. This is really the video that I'm looking forward to the most, because it's going up at, I think I got this thing set for 4 megabytes per second, which is actually 720p. So that's a frame rate of 30 frames per second. Combat with a real small amount of information. But you know, on my computer, the videos I watch are usually 720 and they look fine to me. If I can upload in 720, that'll actually change the amount of time that I go without the internet a lot. So that's what we're hoping for. Oh well, if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me. And love y'all. And I'll probably be deleting this video, or at least sticking it in an archive file later on.